we focus on these two because most of the organizations, yes, are purely using this reporting applications predominantly. But as I told you, now I'll show you right away how easy to develop a web intelligence report. So does it require any kind of very strong technical skill, or is that a basic knowledge of the SQL as well as a kind of a stuff what we need? I'll show you right away. For example, as I told you, look at this. We have a data warehouse and we have different databases here. At this moment, I'm considering an example of RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. So what does it mean? So since BO is a front-end application and the back-end is I have one of the RDBMS database and the ETL combination is Informatica. Okay. Now, if your BO report is having the back-end as RDBMS database, then how I can develop a report? I'll show you practically a live session so that you will have a clear picture right away. Now look at this. Yeah. For example, as I told you, right, the development of a middle layer between a database and universe is your responsibility. Okay. Now imagine that that universe is ready. Then how I can develop a report? Here we go. See, we have what? Web intelligence. As I told you, we have web intelligence report. See, web intelligence report. So what is the advantage of a web intelligence report? Web intelligence report is an ad hoc report where end users, without having a technical knowledge, they themselves can able to develop the report. That is the beauty of the webby. Okay. Now look at this. For example, what is this? The source as universe. That's what I was mentioning here. Universe. Anyhow, how to develop a universe and all you will be learning in the upcoming classes. Okay. Now, so imagine that I have developed the universe. So, but development of a universe is 100% a developer responsibility. Okay. Now, let's say that I am picking up one of the universe example. Now, now imagine that now I'm an end user. So this structure, who provided this structure? This structure is provided by the developer, where I will be developing this structure at a middle layer. Now, being as an end user, which I don't know anything about the technical, can also be generated report like this. Now here we go. Very simple. Just like this. That's it. So, now you can ask me a question. Look at the SQL. You no need to bother with the SQL, okay? Script will be generated by the tool automatically. You no need to worry about the script. Absolutely, because this script will be generated by pointing towards your universe. That is what. So script is auto-generated. So the guys who is not from the technical background also, okay, might be, it could be an SAP environment, whatever it is. The guys from the non-technical background also can able to easily sustain with the business objects. Okay. Now look at this. So this SQL, right? What will happen when I hit on run query button? So that SQL will hit the database because, as I told you, we will be storing our organizational data in the respective databases. Okay. Now, by pointing to when I hit a run query, that SQL, the SQL query will hit the database. Okay. And it will try to generate the report. Now look at this. It will give you an output. See, likewise. See, now I have output. So now what you need to do? You need to do some cosmetic changes. Whereas, adding up company logo, changing up, a kind of layout like this, and this kind of formatting changes you need to do. Now you can ask me a question. Now I would like to develop a graph. Very simple. You don't need to bother at all. Just like your Excel. Look at this. Now, you would like to develop a graph, right? Very simple. Look at this. Example, okay? Now, so you have something here. Now what? Simple. Select, right click, see, turn into, right? Whatever the chart you want. If you want, you have plenty of stuff here. Column chart, line chart, plenty of stuff here. For example, let's say, I would like to choose column chart. Example. Now here we go. See, the chart has been developed. Okay. Likewise, you can deal with this. Now, I would like to add, for example, I would like to do something. I would like to assign some other data. Now look at this. Let me add up. Now look at this. I'm going to add year. Absolutely, See, your graph has been changed. Okay. Likewise, you can easily deal with this. So that what does it mean? A person from the non-technical background also, look at this, can able to develop the report very easily. So that is the reason the BO is providing very sophisticated feature called Web Intelligence Report. Okay. So exclusively helpful for ad hoc reporting functionality. Ad hoc reporting in the sense on need basis, instantaneously end users can develop the report. That is what ad hoc. The same WebE report can also be developed in a standard format also. Standard format in the sense the report whatever I have shown it to you will be developed by the BO developer and will be viewed by the business user. So either ways. So this WebE report can be used in two ways. One is by the end user or as well as can be developed by the end user as well as by the BO developer also. But end user should have a basic knowledge how to save the report, how to drag and drop. So that basic information, if need, that is the responsibility to educate them. That is your responsibility. Okay. So this is what a Web Intelligence report. But of course, in our upcoming classes, we'll be seeing plenty of stuff. Okay. That will be discussed in detail. What is the purpose of each and every feature, etc., will be discussed. Okay. Now, similarly, what is the next one? I'll show you the dashboard also, don't worry. Now, I'll come to the crystal report right away. Now look at this. Crystal reports, what does it mean? I'm saying it as canal report. Canal report in the sense, end users, they themselves cannot develop the report. Okay. They themselves cannot develop the report. Okay. They can only view and refresh the report. That's it. Okay. But who will develop the report? That will be developed by the BO developer. What is the advantage? The major advantage of the crystal report is it is exclusively useful to deal with a kind of dynamicity of the data, which is very calculation oriented. Calculation oriented in the sense, for example, you might have observed in the banking and financial services, insurance sectors, where you will see lots of calculative oriented data. So that kind of situations, we can use the crystal report. Now I will show you how simple to develop a crystal report. I'll show you right away. So that you will have a picture. Okay. Now look at this. See, I have a crystal report here. Now look at this. Okay, give me a second. Let me log into another server. Okay, for example, okay. See, this is the source is universe. Even for crystal report also, the source is universe. An example I'm trying to say. Of course, it accepts various data providers like SAP BW, HANA, etc., etc. But at this moment, I'm using this as a source. Okay, cool. Now look at this, guys. Over here also, what am I going to do? Very simple. That's it. Just just like your drag and drop of the report. So this structure again, this folder structure will be developed by the BO developer. Okay, very simple. Look at the script. Script will be generated by the tool itself. Absolutely no need to bother. Okay. See. Now, let me finish. Let me finish this. Now we'll have a report. And then once we have an output, then you can do whatever you want. I mean, you can define the graphs or whatever, etc., etc. Plenty of stuff can be able to deal with that. It is trying to load the report. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Now you have a report. Okay. Now, how simple it is. Now look at this. Now I would like to insert some kind of a chart. Now look at this. Let me go to structure. Very easy to learn. Okay. Now look at this. I'm including some kind of a column chart. Look at this. Now just drag and drop the objects, whatever you want. For example, look at this. Example. Okay. Now look at this. When I hit on page, it will give me the data. See. Okay. In 2006, this is what the data related. In 2005, 2004, likewise. So now what? The same report can be converted into Excel, PDF, etc., etc., where end user can also view in various outputs. Okay. Where end user can directly view the report in a crystal format. Or else if end user would like to see in Excel or PDF, absolutely, absolutely would be visible. Okay, so that is depends upon the need basis. So likewise, you can access the crystal reports. Okay, so again, as I told you, we have plenty of options to discuss over here. So that will be discussed in the upcoming classes. Then, since this is just a bird's eye view to let you know what kind of a functionalities does it exist and how to use, how complicated it is, how easy it is. To provide you that kind of insight, this is the way that I'm going ahead. Okay. Now I'll show you kind of a dashboards. Okay. Now look at this. Now I have a dashboard. And you know what? The guys who knows about the development of a dashboard as well as the development of a dashboard, they can easily deal with any kind of reporting dashboard oriented tools like TableView, ClickView, as well as SAP Lumira. This kind of tools can be easily understandable because this is the base version for any upcoming dashboard oriented tools. That is the reason. The guys who is able to deal with the dashboards very easily, they can learn TableView within a matter of 4 days. That's not a big deal at all. Okay. Now, firstly, I'll show you some samples over here, which is for your better understanding. What is meant by dashboard? Then we'll have a clear picture. Now look at this. Very simple. Now look at this. For example, I have a dashboard. So what is meant by dashboard first? Dashboard is nothing but a better visualizations of your data, where you can distribute these reports to your smartphones and very sophisticatedly, where end users can interact with the reports very easily. Now for example, look at this. We have a report. So what is this green color is indicating? Which is nothing but a profitable business. Okay. This red color is indicating a danger zone. Look at this. Look at the needle. How dynamical it is getting changed. See, look at this. So what does it mean? Look at this. Better visualizations. So what does it mean? End users can interact with that report very easily so that they can take an effective decisions. Okay. Now, I'll show you a similar kind of stuff. Probably you might have seen this kind of reports in a day-to-day your life. So this is related to stock market, etc. Stock market and weather reports, such kind of stuff. See, you have what now? I would like to know the status of this particular portfolio from past 1 week. Now look at this. See, Sunday, this is the count, and Monday. So like from past 1 week, what is the sales, or what is the history of this? What is the fluctuations, etc., can be monitored. Look at this, as per the region wise. Okay, likewise, etc., can be done. Look at this. Okay, so this kind of things can be easily achievable via dashboards. Okay, now to deal, are we clear so far? What now you got a basic idea, right? How to develop a report and how easy it is. Any questions so far? So far, any questions? Jessica, Faizan, Rashikar, Ramana. Okay, seems Ramana is not having any doubt. How about you, Rashikar? So far, are we having any basic idea?
Yeah, no doubt, no questions. I have some basic idea.
Okay, Jessica and Faizan?
Yeah, we are good, Ganesh.
Cool. Now, so now you can ask me one question over here. How about the data? Okay, over here, simply, I'm just going to show you some kind of existing samples. That's fine. But coming to the way to deal with the subject, what is the data I'm going to provide you? You know what? I'm not going to showcase the classes like employee table, department table. Those are all no use at all, because those are all only helpful for the learning ways. But we should have a knowledge on the realistic data, right? So that is the reason I am going to choose, okay, kind of 80 to 90% of the realistic data. Okay, probably I can show you right away. Now look at this. So where I am using a kind of SQL Server database, which is nothing but motors, where I can project you, kind of a realistic information over here. Okay. See. Similarly, we have adventurous database, etc. So what it can happen, it can project you a kind of a realistic picturization. Okay. Even in realistic scenarios also, you will see this kind of a table itself, like dimensions, etc. So that you will be watching very near to a kind of a live environment. Okay. So that is the reason, I'm not going to pick up like system databases, which is never helpful. These kind of a databases. We should have a realistic environment. So the total classes, okay, starting from the day one till the end of course will be covered, with a realistic environment exposure, so that you will have a clear exposure towards the realistic scenarios also. And as I told you, in our classroom, right, as I told you, apart from the development activities, I told you to version migration and security modeling. Okay, I'll show you right away. Okay, and as I told you, we are dealing with an advanced version, that is SAP BO 4.1. Again, we have 4.2 also in the market. Okay, but that is not yet fully utilized by the organizations, because that is just like a newborn baby. Okay, now that is the reason in our upcoming sessions we will be discussing 4.1 and 4.0, how to do a version migration, etc. also will be learned. Okay, anyhow, now look at this. In the upcoming classes, we will be learning, see, Central Configuration Manager, and CMC, BI Launchpad, okay, upgrade, nothing but version, okay. These are all the applications you will be learning as a part of administration, SAP BO admin, not a developer, okay. Now, okay, next, once you, that is also will be covered. So, but first priority is what? Look at this, IDT, UDT, report conversion tool, query as a web service, widget. So once these are all development. Along with that, you will be learning dashboards. Okay, see dashboards, and along with that, you will be learning crystal reports. Okay, so once you thoroughful with this, okay, this is what you are technically eligible for the development. Okay, all these things. Then later on, as I told you, we'll be discussing with the administration activities. Okay, first 22 or 25 days classes will be purely focusing on the development activities. Once you are thoroughful with all these development, I mean to say development of a universe, development of a Webby report, crystal report, dashboard, QAS reports, etc., etc. Once you are thoroughful with the development, then only I can jump into the administration, SAP BO admin. Then at last we'll be discussing about version migration. Not only about version migration, we will be discussing about, where we used to call it as deployments. Deployments nothing but, dev to QA, okay, QA to UAT, UAT to prod, etc., etc. can be learned in our upcoming sessions. But these are all will be discussed, okay, once you are familiarized with the development activities, then only we can go ahead and hit this kind of admin related activities. Okay? So even you will be learning this kind of topics also in our upcoming sessions. Okay, but since we are at very beginning, firstly we will be focusing on the fundamentals. Fundamentals in the sense, over here, how are we going to store the data? What is this ETL functionality performs? Okay, what kind of a backend activities will happen, and how are we storing the data in RDBMS, etc., etc. Okay, in that picturization. So once it is done, again, BO with SAP BW, okay, and BO with HANA application. So irrespective of your backend of your business objects, you will be in a position to develop the report. So that is what it is required. Because in one of your assignment, you might have faced a situation like, BO with RDBMS as a backend application. Okay. In one of your another assignment, you might face a situation, a BO with SAP BW is the backend application, because we never know. Because choosing a project or choosing an assignment is not in our hands, but getting a job is in our hands. Okay. So that is the reason we should be in a position to handle, irrespective of the backend applications, how we can develop a report. That is what. So ultimately, we will be covering all these aspects, but everything is not going to be finished up in a single day. Okay. Definitely, it's a matter of structured way to deal with the subject. So definitely, it's a matter of a time. Okay. And moreover, the course content is exclusively prepared based upon the demand of the market. Okay, because I'm genuinely saying, okay, I don't want to, say hide anything over here, because as per the market demand, we used to keep on change the subject, as per the situation basis. Because if you, let's say, you are learning very old topics, which is not at all useful for your organizations or in the market, then what is the purpose? No way. So that is the reason. Our course is exclusively prepared as per the market requirement to place you, or that is what, right? If you are meeting with the customer requirements, then only you are a preferable candidate. Otherwise, no. So that is the reason we have prepared our course content in that manner. Okay. Yep. And as I told you, weekdays, 1 hour of a time, and weekends, depends. If I'm dragging about, if you are lagging behind the subject, then we will definitely connect the weekends also on the session. And majority of our class members, if they are in a rush, hey, I need to finish this class within the 25 days or 30 days likewise. So what we can do, we can spend a good amount of time over the weekends, but that too on the majority basis. Okay. So this is what. Any questions so far? Any questions? Jessica, any questions?
Hello, Ganesh.
No,
Yes.
Ganesh. I'm good.
Yeah, may I know who is this?
Yeah, Ganesh, this is Faizan. Hello.
Yes, Faizan. I'm able to hear you.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
speak a bit loud?
So, yeah, again this one. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I have actually just a basic question. Like in SAP Business Objects 4.0, SAP has provided with two different applications for creating the universe, that is the IDT and the UDT.
Exactly, exactly.
So, yes. So since I'm just a fresher, I'm just started working on this object. Like, yeah. Why, I mean, they have provided two different, applications for creating universe, that is UDT and IDT.
Okay. So I lost you in middle of something. So can you repeat your question? So you are
I mean,
asking about, you will be discussing
I'm asking,
both? Yeah.
I'm asking a brief idea, like why SAP has provided two different applications, I mean, the UDT and the IDT for creating
Exactly.
universe.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? UDT is the topic, look at this. If you observe here, both IDT and UDT is exclusively meant to develop the universe. Okay. But this UDT has been introduced, okay, only the naming convention, but in the previous version, the same topic is called as Universe Designer. But starting from 4.0 onwards, they have renamed it to UDT. But along with that, they have introduced new application called IDT. Now you can ask me a question. This UDT,
So,
this UDT is useful for the universes which are converted, which are migrated from the older versions to the latest version. Okay, and once it is migrated from the previous version to the current version, you can convert this universes into this universes. That is one thing. And second thing, in the upcoming versions, let's say imagine that SAP has released 4.4 version. So they are not going to maintain UDT. They will maintain only IDT. Okay. The reason is IDT is very advanced topic where it can interact with the various data sources like SAP HANA. Okay. And some of the third-party tools like SOAP application, I mean to say XML related applications. And IDT can interact with your Visual Basic macros also. So such kind of sophisticated technical oriented features is available with IDT. Okay. But definitely going forward, UDT will be ruled out. Okay. But in our upcoming classes, we'll be definitely learning both UDT as well as the IDT. Both we will be learning. Okay. Because we should know the differences. Okay. That is the reason.
Okay.
Is that answer your question, Faizan?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Jessica? Faizan, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, there is one more question. Like, one more question is like, the version of business objects which came before 4.0. So for those, the universes that were created, so those were first migrated to UDT in 4.0. And then these universes will again be migrated to IDT.
Yes, not migration. We are supposed to say conversion. That conversion is a matter of 2 minutes. Conversion is a matter of 2 minutes. But migration is a matter of weeks of time. Because there are lots of prerequisites that we need to follow. Okay? So I'll show you. Very simple here. Okay? For example, let me log into IDT. I'll show you right away. Just for your better understanding. So that you'll have a clear picture. look at this. See, this is my VO repository, example, my VO server. In that server, I have hell lot of universes, which is UNX nothing but IDT based universe, okay? And if there is no extension, that is UDT based universe, okay? Now, imagine that this universe has been migrated from lower version to latest version, okay? Now, how I can convert this universe, which is from UDT into IDT? Very simple. Look at this. Matter of 2 minutes. Simple. See. I am converting a .unv universe. Look at this. Over here you have a local project here, right? Now look at this. For example, I am creating a new project. Example. Okay. Now, here we go. Very simple. Select, right click, convert a .universe. You have to choose the folders. Repository, where I'm going to store this in a repository. Repository nothing but your VO server. For example, I'm going to save under this folder. Okay. Then what about your local nothing but, see this one, which you have created just now. Let's say I'm going to save over here. Okay. Now, don't worry about these options. Okay. Now look at this. Converting. Okay. Of course, don't worry. Okay, I think this is something problem with this. So that's it. Conversion is done, which is a matter of 2 minutes. Okay, of course the conversion is failed, but it is a matter of 2 minutes. Okay, so this is what. But migration is different. So don't compare with migration and conversion. Both are different aspects. Okay, Faizan?
Okay. Thank you.
That is the thing. And because you don't need to deal with the coding here, which is purely graphical user interface. Look at it. I'll show you something, You don't need to worry a lot. See, this is just a graphical interface. See, just purely a graphics. No coding at all. If you observe, right? So what does it mean? So you can easily cope up with this object. As well as it is having plenty of abroad opportunities. So what else we need ultimately, right? And you can ask me a question, how it is helpful for me to move into managerial positions? Because ultimately the management, right, will definitely care about this kind of analytics.
Right.
So that is the reason which will definitely a value added for your career. Starting from tomorrow, we will be learning firstly, what is this warehouse? What is the importance of this warehouse? What is meant by data march? How they are associated with the ETL? What is the necessity of the ETL tools? Okay, in that way we will be discussing. Okay, so as I told you, definitely we will be discussing very, very in-depth of the content in the upcoming days. Okay, since it is a starting class, I can't brief you everything in a single day about the technical aspirations. Okay, so we'll be discussing one by one in a structured way. And the guys who don't have any knowledge on the SQL queries, basic SQL queries, I'm going to provide some, practice sessions. Okay, so though you are not aware of the SQL queries in a thorough way, don't worry. That is my responsibility to provide you a knowledge on the required areas of the SQL. I'm not saying that I'll be teaching you the SQL also. No, the required SQL queries which is helpful to understand the business objects. Because now you can ask me a question. Hey, just now only you told me that no coding at all. Yes, I agree with that. Now, for example, look at this. Yes, how this report is generated. Okay, let's say I'm a technical person. Now, for example, let's say this report is having some duplicate data. Who is responsible to fix it? Right? Purely a developer. Now look at this. See, you should understand this SQL, what it is trying to do. That's it. Okay? So to understand the SQL, you should have a basic knowledge. I'm saying very, very basic knowledge. So that also I'll teach you in the upcoming classes. Okay? So definitely, you don't need to bother anything. So just leave it to me. That is my responsibility to make you comfortable with the subject. Okay?